Hi there, my name is Cudabear. I've been playing RuneScape on and off for about 16 years now. During that time I've had lots of different kinds of restricted accounts, but I've never played an unrestricted main since 2011. That will change today. My goal is to build my new account to endgame content as fast as possible via routing and macro efficiency. Are you ready to jump in? Let's continue with Macroefficient main. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In the last episode, we unlocked two massive things for the account. We got birdhouse runs for passive hunter experience, and the ability to use fairy rings for very fast transportation around the game. These two things will be invaluable to all of the rest of our progress in this series. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're not actually going to jump right into quests. There's a couple of things I need to set up, and I'll explain what those are. But first, I need to buy some new equipment, so let's do that. Okay, so you can see all that I bought in my inventory here. It's actually ranging equipment. I'm going to be getting a start on training my ranged up pretty soon, as eventually ranged will be taking over magic for my primary combat style going through the rest of these quests. There are some endgame quests where magic just doesn't quite cut it and ranged really becomes powerful, especially because of some unlocks that you'll see later on. However, I'm only 13 ranged, which isn't incredible, so I'm actually going to do one quest out of order from the Optimal Quest guide, and that is Shadow of the Storm, so let's go get that done. Oops, I should have brought more food. Okay, whew. Let's go ahead and put the experience reward directly into ranged. This quest is super nice as it gives 10,000 combat experience in a skill of your choice with no minimum requirement, so that puts me right up to 28, almost 29 with the reward from Death to Dorgushin. That quest was a little bit more shaky than I remember. This quest definitely always gets me from time to time because the NPC can teleport you into melee distance, which can be pretty damaging at this point because I don't really have a lot of defenses. I'm really relying on prayer. But thankfully that one is done, and I'm going to show you why I did it. Oh, and we also got 50 magic during that fight, which is incredible. And the whole reason for that detour was actually so that I could come here to pest control. I'm actually going to begin the pest control grind kind of in the background. Normally I would wait until I could get to the mid-level boats to do this, as it's more points per hour, and I find it best to do it right in the middle of the mid-game when you're about 70 combat. However, I have a stream coming up tonight, and I figured pest control would be a great activity to do during the stream. So I'm going to do a little bit of more inefficient pest control. However, the trade-off is I'll be able to fly through these early range levels in the minigame. So it kind of kills two birds with one stone. I'm working towards Void and also getting some early range experience out of the way. So I'm actually planning on streaming every Thursday night from here on out around 8 p.m. Central Time. So if you would like to join, come check it out on YouTube. We'll be here. Also, I launched a Discord for this channel. I put the invite link down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment on this video. If you'd like to join and come hang out, definitely click that, join up on the Discord. I'll be posting links to community events like this pest control stream there. Hope to see you there. Alright, so we played pest control for around about 2.5 hours, got up to 38 range, and got just under 100 pest points from that little grind. It was a really good time, and I hope the rest of you guys will also come out and join us some point in the future. So the pest control grind will pretty much just continue in the background. I'll probably update you guys whenever I hit a certain milestone, but other than that, you can just assume I'm going for void range ASAP. So before we get back to the questing, I do want to introduce one more little thing I'll be doing passively in the background, and that's actually going to be Nightmare Zone. I really need to get my range levels up as fast as possible, and of course everyone needs Nightmare Zone points, so it's a great opportunity for me to train up my range slowly as I gain those points. However, I've pretty much hit the point on my account where I'm very bottlenecked again on money. It took more money than I was expecting to get to this point, and I don't really have access to any of the mid-game moneymakers that I think are worth doing. So I actually went ahead and I bought another bond. So I have another 5 mil, 6 mil cash to work with, and that should help a lot. I know a lot of people were a little disappointed that I bought a bond for the initial episode, but it really doesn't make sense for me not to, I don't think, based on the nature of this series. Being bottlenecked on money just isn't very macro efficient, so I want to really make sure that we can keep moving. I'm not putting it past us that we might need to buy yet another one after this, but we're getting pretty close to the mid game, so I'm hoping that won't be the case. So here we are at the Nightmare Zone, and you can kind of see why I wanted so much money, because I'm going to be using the prayer method early on until I get enough points to use the absorption method later on. I find the prayer method to be a little bit better overall because it's far more AFK. With the absorption method, you need to keep flicking rapid heal every minute, so it's a little less AFK because if you miss it, then you're a lot less efficient and it's just kind of annoying. So basically, just for now, I've invested in some very basic prayer gear. It's not really that much prayer bonus, but it should be enough to carry me through. If you've never done this before, and mind you, I also have not done much Nightmare Zone, so I'm kind of unfamiliar with this process as well. All you have to do is talk to Dominic Onion, talk to him about a customizable dream, add some money to the coffer, and then you can drink the potion, which allows you to choose all of the monsters you want to fight. I'm basically going to choose all of the melee ones that I have unlocked right now, which as you can see is not very many. Alright, here's my final list. It's kind of pitiful. I'm also only on normal mode, so I'm not going to get that many points at all. But this is really just getting the process started, and this is something I'll do more in my downtime. Alright, so I was only in there for about 30 minutes, but I'm already up to 40 range. It's about 10k experience an hour, even considering all the high defense monsters in there. So it's really not bad. The points, however, are absolutely terrible, unfortunately. But I only really wanted a couple, as I wanted to buy some of these Scrolls of Redirection. These are really nice, as they can be used on a house tab to be able to teleport to any house portal in the game, so that'll be very handy. Now that that's all out of the way, it's time for everyone's favorite content, more questing. Let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to start with Shiloh Village. Alright, that concludes Shiloh Village, which is always a nice little bit of crafting experience and a pretty quick one to knock out. So unfortunately, the next one on the efficient quest list is actually Fishing Contest, and I don't have 10 fishing. Ideally, I would have received 1 Bob fishing event, or ideally even more than that, 2, to get all the way up to 10 fishing, but even 1 would have put me up to 7. So unfortunately, I have to do the really slow, really terrible 1 to 10 fishing grind manually. So let's go get that done next. One tip if you ever have to start a skill from level 1 like this, there's usually really cheap and easy to get skill boosts like these Admiral Pies, putting me up to 6 fishing. It's always recommended to do this early on, as 6 fishing is significantly faster than 1 fishing. Once you get to higher levels, it's not as worth it as you're not going to be leveling up very often, but for the low levels, definitely worth it. Alright, even with the pies, that still took a good 15 plus minutes. I really wish Jagex would release some type of quest to bridge this gap between 1 and 10 fishing. That would be incredible. It's kind of really annoying that the most efficient route is to get lucky with a random event. But now we can actually go ahead and start Fishing Contest. Five-minute quest, all the way up to 18 fishing from 10. Seriously, Jagex, add some sort of bridge between 1 and 10 fishing, please. Thank you. Next on the list is actually the Dwarf Recipe for Disaster, so let's do that. Oh, I can't use my redirection tablets until I get some construction experience. Oops. Well, that was kind of a pointless detour then. One thing I'm doing as part of this quest is I've already brought the ingredients to get a second rock cake right off the bat, as it is a very handy item to have, and I want one too, so we'll have Roark make a second one right away as well. I think in order to do it we have to drop it and then talk to him again. Yeah, there we go. Alright, there's the end of the second part of RFD. 1000 Slayer experience for this one, which is really nice. So we have a slight detour to do before the next quest, and that's actually just to get up to 22 cooking. So I'll probably just buy whatever food I can from the Grand Exchange and then do that. So actually looking at some of the requirements coming up, almost all of them are boostable as far as I can tell. So you might be able to get away with just buying some Chef's Delights and drinking those for the levels required. But it literally only took me like 3 minutes to get this out of the way, so I figured I might as well just take care of it. So the next one is actually going to be Ghost Ahoy, which is what I'm pretty excited for. Okay, here's the end of Ghost Ahoy with the Ectophile, which is of course one of the most useful unlocks that you can get specifically for farm runs, which I will be starting pretty soon. Not just yet though. Glad to have this one done. Now we're on to Creature of Frankenstein, staying with the Mortania theme again. Alright, for whatever reason, all you have to do is pickpocket him to end the quest. No exposition, whatever. 1000 Thieving experience, we're good to go. And the Ring of Chaos, which is not super useful, but is used in some future quests. So next we're moving on to Making History, which is a pretty easy one. This quest is made extremely trivial with the addition of the Necklace of Passage. It's so fast, because normally you have to run all the way from Ardoin every time you need to come talk to this guy, but you don't anymore. I'm going to go ahead and destroy the Enchanted Key. I might do it at some point in the future, but probably not. I'm talking about the mini quest after. So next on the list is actually going to be One Small Favor, everyone's favorite quest ever released into the game. However, I really want to use the lamp on rune crafting, so I'm gonna mix things up a lot. The quest guide says to use it on prayer, but I have the ability to just buy bones and use them on prayer very quickly. And it's a 10k experience lamp, so I really would rather throw it into rune crafting, but you require level 30 in the skill in order to use that lamp. So I'm gonna mix things up, and I'm going to move down the quest list to do Arceus Favor and get some runecrafting levels out of it. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and start the Enter the Abyss mini quest, as the runecrafting experience you get from the Arceus library minigame there scales with level. So getting level 9 from doing this mini quest early on is a really good way to get a little bit of extra experience through this other grind. Alright, just like that, an easy 1000 runecrafting experience, so that'll help us with the Arceus library. So I've never actually done the Arceus library using the RuneLite plugin, so this will be a little bit of a learning experience for me here. I'm kind of excited to actually jump in. It was such a pain to do this back in the day before the RuneLite plugin existed on my other account, and I'm excited to see how it's changed. So let's go ahead, let's do this. Alright, with this one I've got 20% favor already, which is what I need for the quest. But I think moreover, it unlocks the ability to turn in dark manuscripts, which if I talk to this person and turn some in, I think it should be a lot faster, especially because they're all labeled. So it looks like RuneLite only marks the potential places for manuscripts to show up, but they only have a chance of showing up. But I can turn them in and get a massive 5% favor for each one instead of 2.5. So I'm going to be doing these for now. Okay, and now that I have a full inventory of these books, we can go ahead and read them. And we get only 36 runecrafting experience per each one, but it's pretty good still because runecrafting is so slow anyway, and you can turn them in real fast. So just with those, I'm already up to 11 runecrafting, but I'm only going to do this up to 90% Archaea's favor. Alright, so turning in those 10 manuscripts I had puts me up to 90%, and I'm not going to make the mistake of going all the way to 100 because the quest for this house gives you 10% favor, and I remembered that ahead of time now, so go me. But I'll go ahead and throw all these books onto runecrafting and we'll see how far it gets us. As you can see, the experience goes up with every level, so it's definitely worth doing a little bit ahead of time. All the way up to 13 from that, which is really nice. So now I have to go all the way to 30, and I have just the thing in mind for that. So there's actually one more thing we can do to help boost our runecrafting early on, and I'm realizing I've kind of done things backwards, as I thought there was a runecrafting requirement on this quest, but there's really not. And that's the Eyes of Glofrey. The only thing I need to do is get 5 construction for that quest, which I can use the mini quest Daddy's Home to get, so that's what we're doing next. Alright, here's the end of Daddy's Home. If I would make a change to the Optimal Quest guide, I'd probably move this up the list, as it's a really nice early start to construction. Plus, it gets you a free house, but I've already bought one, so I didn't quite get that benefit. But you get some nice other construction supplies, which will be handy to build the bank chest and other things on Fossil Island, which I'll be able to do now that I have some basic starting construction levels. So I definitely would have moved this up the list. So now we're going to go on to Eyes of Glofrey. Alright, there's the end of Eyes of Glofrey. Definitely a very helpful quest, all the way up to 25 runecrafting just from that. Also a little bit of magic experience as well, which almost gets us to 55, which is high alchemy. Pretty exciting. Also, you get this crystal seed, which can be turned into a crystal saw. I'm going to go ahead and do that now, as that could come in handy in the future when I need to train construction. And of course, all you have to do after the quest is come to this crystal bowl here, and you can make the crystal saw. Doesn't have any level requirements, you might as well do it right after. It's also an achievement task. So we still have to get 5 levels in runecrafting in order to use the experience reward for 1 small favor on runecrafting, and also achievement diary rewards. And my method for doing that is going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to go ahead and use these Mind Altar teleports that I bought off the Grand Exchange. They wind up putting you right next to this Mind Altar, which you can craft runes at very quickly. And then go ahead and bank at Castle Wars, and then also occasionally at the Feryx Enclave to recharge my rune energy. It's not super exciting, but it is very quick. It's a little expensive because of the Mind Altar teleports costing money. However, I don't really have access to lava rune crafting yet because I would have to buy talismans. I don't have magic imbue. So I feel like this is the fastest option for me. That doesn't completely break the bank. If you wanted to be extremely fast, you could buy silver tiaras and mine talismans from the Grand Exchange as well. Use these teleports the same way and then craft the tiaras at the altar for even faster experience. But those are 3,000 each, and it would cost me over $1 mil just for these 5 quick levels, so I didn't want to break the bank on that way either, and this is what we're doing. But it should be really quick. Alright, here we go. 15 minutes and done. It's actually so fast. RuneLite is showing I'm getting about 25k experience an hour, which is not too bad considering how simple the method is. But now I can use those experience lamps on runecrafting, so let's go get one small favor knocked out of the way, everyone's favorite quest. So before we actually go ahead and jump into one small favor, I did get us one more upgrade for our combat gear. It's the Tome of Fire and some burnt pages. These are really expensive now. They didn't used to be this expensive, but It's kind of rightly so, as it's such a powerful item. It'll increase our damage with fire spells by 50%. So it's literally a 50% damage, a DPS increase. But because the pages are so expensive, I only bought 100, which should be enough to get us through some quests, and I'm not sure I'll be using it outside of those. I feel like this quest is always less bad in my mind. Like, I don't remember it being as bad as it actually is. That was about 45 minutes of running around the world, though. But it's all over now. So it's a really nice one to get out of the way, just so you don't have to worry about doing it in the future. The other thing is you get the 10,000 experience lamp, which is super nice. Oh, even more than that, it's 2 10,000 experience lamps. So I can actually put these on runecrafting now that I have level 30. Which is incredibly nice. This will get me all the way up to level 38, which is pretty good from 30. Runecrafting, as we all know, is extremely slow, so any bonus experience I can get there is worthwhile. And that's actually where we're going to go ahead and leave off episode 5. Made some massive progress in this episode, including going up to 40 range via pest control, setting up our Nightmare Zone AFK grind for the background, getting 33 hunter from birdhouses, and all the way up to 131 quest points, including getting the 38 runecrafting from the rewards and a little bit of grinding. Is definitely a very productive episode. Oh, also, we hit 55 magic, which is awesome, as the passive magic experience I can get from running around and high elking now is like 3 times as much as low elking, so that'll be a great passive buff. Pretty much all done 0 time while doing quests too. We're up to 1 day and 7 hours, so I definitely spent the most time on this episode of any episode you've seen so far, but not by much. That's actually less than I was expecting, because I spent about 2 hours in pest control, about half an hour in Nightmare Zone, and some other time taking some B-roll footage for Time Traveler. So throughout the course of this episode, we got so many Wizard's Mind Bombs donations, and even a few money donations for the community fund as well. I am not able to go super in-depth into each donation, otherwise this would be the entire video, but I am so eternally grateful for everyone who's contributed to the collection so far. It's been amazing. And also, if you guys have any ideas for how to use this community money, let me know. We have quite a bit already, and we could probably do something fun with it. Also, if you were curious about the totals for the Wizard Mind Bomb collection, we are all the way up to 120k Wizard's Mind Bombs, as well as 6 million for the community fund. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's 11 million in Wizard's Mind Bombs. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching. This series has been such a blast to make. It's been so interesting to see all of the comments from all you folks who have participated in the series as well. I know some of you guys are doing Macroefficient accounts on your own, and it's really cool to see the progress that everyone is making. If you liked the video, definitely make sure to leave a subscription on the channel. I'm so happy to be continuing this series for everyone. Also, leave a comment, leave a like on the video, and take care. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.